What's up, and welcome back to Don't Quote Us Sports, the podcast with bold takes, bad stats, and zero accountability. It might have been a dull week for sports, but we still have plenty to talk about. The New York Jets just locked up their future, massive extensions for both Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. We'll break down the deals and what that means for the franchise. Then we head to Kansas City, where the Chiefs have made Trey Smith the richest offensive lineman in NFL history. Is he worth every penny, or did KC just blow the budget? Also, there's smoke coming from Tuscaloosa. Is Nick Saban eyeing a return to college football? We've got thoughts. And buckle up, NBA fans. Rumors are swirling that LeBron James might be headed to Dallas. Yeah. LeBron, Kyrie, AD, Cooper Flag. What could go wrong? Finally, we dip into the MLB, specifically the MLB draft, because it's not as simple as just picking the best player available. And we'll try to make sense of slot values, comp picks, and why no one ever picks pitchers high anymore. All that and more, let's get into it. Hello, and welcome back to Don't Quote Us Sports. Today is July 16th, 2025, and a pretty dry week in sports. Guys, I know we will get to what's going on right now, but let's just remember we only have a couple more weeks until football's back.
Can't wait.
It is, as a sports fan, as a sports bettor, whatever your case may be, right now is just, it's just such a dull time to be a sports fan right now with football on pause, and obviously basketball is done with, and now we got baseball, and that's pretty much it. It's a rough time right now.
Baseball, golf, and tennis. That's about it.
Hey, shout out Wimbledon, baby. Shout out Wimbledon.
This dullness.
Sorry, that was
Is it
tennis. Sound.
Is that you returning serves? Is that what that was?
Yes.
Oh, that's what that was.
That's Isaiah and Wii Sports, bro, in the living room.
Headband on and everything.
His neighbors were like, what the hell's going on over there?
Isaiah's gone through 3 TVs because he forgets to wear the little safety strap around his wrist. It's been a nightmare in Isaiah's home lately.
Yeah, I do remember the good old days. I used to have do you guys remember the Wii Fit boards that they used to sell?
Your family fell for that con? Is that what you're telling us?
That was the biggest con ever, bro.
Dude,
hey, that might be number 2 behind the Nigerian Prince email thing. Okay, I mean that's so bad. You had one of those?
Yes, and I think back of it to your guys' point of what a scam that thing was, but absolutely hysterical that they convinced the population,
the average American family, to buy it.
that this is how they were going to lose weight.
Hey, they really said we're gonna bring jazzercise back, but we're gonna do it in video game form, and these dumbasses are gonna eat this up. And guess what? Isaiah, hook, line, sinker, baby.
I think we used it maybe the first week, and then it just sat in the corner.
Oh yeah, collected dust. It's a conversation piece in middle America, middle class homes. That's what that was in about 2010, 2011.
You can buy it. You could probably find one at a Salvation Army or a Goodwill or something and get back to it.
Hey, you want me to get you one for Christmas or what?
I think I have a Wii sitting around somewhere too. I almost want to go get one just to see what, like, remind myself of it.
Hey, could you imagine? 6:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. It's a work week. Isaiah's up early, getting his workout in. The wife comes downstairs. He's got 5-pound dumbbells in hand, and he's on this board doing a little shake and a step up and a shake and a step up. All right, I can't wait to see that video.
See, I think Xbox tried that too with that Kinect. Remember that video thing they tried to record? And
oh yeah,
they tried it too, and that was a flop.
Hey, Microsoft,
one
Nintendo,
that had, like, the balls on the controllers that lit up.
They had the what?
Yeah, they had like the Wii nunchuck, but then they had like,
I think PlayStation had a version of it too.
Yeah, like it was like nunchucks that they would hold, but then they had like blue, like colored orbs on top of it.
Hey, let's take me back to N64. Let's make games simple again.
Shoot, just go to Atari. Why do we have to complicate things?
Well, Atari was rough, but yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Hey, shout out to
That
all the Wii Nintendo fans out there.
that
You
could be
know,
the
there's
most.
fans out there that play that shit daily, bro.
That might be
Oh,
the most
locked in.
interesting thing we talk about all night. To be
I
honest
don't
with you.
I don't know about that, but
Uh, but we do actually have some news that is relevant to discuss right off the bat. Um, with the talk of football being right around the corner, we do have some massive signings that randomly came across the desk the last couple of days, mainly from the New York Jets, who decided to drop a quarter of a bill in the last couple of days to one, sign Garrett Wilson to a 4-year, $130 million contract. I believe his had about $90 million guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. And then Sauce Gardner, which, Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that placed him at fourth highest paid receiver.
That one, as of right now, at least according to Spot Track, which is what most people use, it has him as the fifth highest paid wide receiver right now.
Fifth, and then they signed Sauce Gardner to a 4-year, $120 million contract. I think it came out to technically like $30.1 million per year, which technically makes him the highest paid cornerback in the league, if I'm not mistaken. If anyone
Yeah,
wants to fact
you are
check that.
correct. It is by $100,000. He
yeah.
is, or excuse me,
Um,
yeah, $100,000.
so we can start there, you guys. Because I know we talked about it in the group chat before this episode, and how you guys, I don't want to put words in your guys' mouth. It seems like you were kind of in disagreement that Wilson got paid more than Sauce Gardner. Um, but we can kind of start there, I guess.
Yeah, I'm the one. I made that statement that I think if you were going to pay, if one had to make more than the other, I think Sauce should have been making more. Um, I don't view Garrett Wilson as a top 5 receiver in the NFL. I do view Sauce Gardner as a top 5 corner in the NFL. But I also understand that the market is different for the wide receiver and corner. Hey, congrats both guys getting paid. Um, the Garrett Wilson one, Rob, I don't know how you feel. Do you think it's appropriate? I think it's. I'm not mad about it, but it is a reach.
I think for me, I think I'm right along there. I think for Sauce, I mean, when you're looking at like PFF or anything, because Sauce came to the league hot, right? I mean, when Sauce came to the league, he
He
was
was
making All Pro. He made the All Pro. He made Defensive Rookie of the Year. He made the All Pro in his second year, and then he kind of had I mean, some would say a so-so year, third year, but arguably pretty damn good. So Sauce, I get it. I mean, Sauce makes sense to me. The corner is one of the hardest positions to play in sports, and if you have your guy, go out and get him. Sometimes those deals do blow up, right? Because I mean, look what happened with Alexander with us, right? We thought we had our corner, we thought it was great, and then it kind of just blew up in our face. I mean, I'm fine with that. Also, shout out to the Jets for, I guess you could say, making good moves. I think that, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, listen. Let's highlight that. Right. You
yeah,
said it before. The pod has said it before. Bad teams make what?
bad decisions out
Bad
there.
decisions. Good teams make what?
Good decisions.
So
But
listen, the Jets are trying to make good decisions.
wait, back it up though. Are these good decisions? Like
That's
you just said that it
I
did
said I'm
make
not
that
mad about it, but it
Garrett
is a
Wilson,
reach.
like Garrett Wilson's not a top 5 receiver, getting paid like a top 5 receiver. Sauce Gardner's declined, at least the last season he declined, and now he's the highest paid quarterback in the league. Is that
Well,
smart moves?
listen, I'm going to sit here and defend Sauce Gardner. Both you guys are on this. He's a declined.
No,
The game is too fast. He
no,
can't.
we're just saying last season compared to his first 2 seasons where he was a first team All Pro was not up to that standard.
And do you know why? Do you know why the stats aren't there to make the All-Pro team?
why.
Because they're not fucking throwing at him. Because they're
That's just
scared
not
to throw
true.
at him. You don't think he would have more pass deflections than 9 if they were throwing at him? When I'm pretty sure Denzel Ward had 18 or 19 on the season.
Yeah,
They're not throwing at him.
I think that plays a role, but also I think that would have been considered when it came to a Pro Bowl or an All Pro team, and he didn't get either one last year. Let me say I think the Sauce deal, I'm fine, perfectly fine with that, well deserved. Okay, you locked up your corner. For me, it's the Garrett Wilson thing, and I think Isaiah and I kind of were along the same page. Is Garrett Wilson, while he goes out and gets you 1,000 yards a year, give or take, the touchdowns are lacking. I think he has 14 in his career, and that is 3 years. And then I use PFF a lot. I know a lot of people use different things. PFF has him as the 13th best wide receiver right now with a 79.3 grade. And they also mentioned that they're like, good for him going out and getting his 1,000 yards, but like we know the type of talent that Garrett Wilson has, obviously. But when you're mentioning it, he's making more than AJ Brown. He's making more than St. Brown. And I know this is the status of the NFL now, where you're going to see somebody get paid, and then it's not going to make sense. And then next year, AJ Brown's like, I scored 8 more touchdowns than this guy, and he's making. It's just a rollover effect. But it's going to take some of these deals, which we're already seeing. Like, look at the Brandon Ayuk deal that he pushed so hard for, and then it just didn't make sense. And obviously, he got injured, and it's unfortunate for that situation. But I mean, it's just, when I said good for the Jets, I think it's good they didn't let him walk. I think that's a step in the right direction for these guys when their rookie deals are up, and whether they had the player option or not. Keep the players happy. You brought in a new head coach. You have Justin Fields coming in, who I watched a clip that Sauce Gardner likes where Justin Fields is, and they like him as a team. But I will end it with bad teams make bad decisions.
Correct.
I will defend the Garrett Wilson statement though. I know this is going to be his 4th season, right?
Yeah, this will be his 4th.
First 2 seasons he was catching passes from Zach Wilson. Last season was from who I have very adamantly said has been a declining Aaron Rodgers. So we do also have to kind of take that into consideration. Like, he's been putting up pretty solid stats with that being considered. It's not like he has a top 10, top 5 quarterback throwing him passes, or in an offense that has been very conducive, like being good. Like Zach Wilson led New York Jets offenses were notoriously horrid.
Dude, here's the thing, okay? I said I'm not mad about the contract, and I'm not for the Jets. Okay, if I'm going to be upset about something, it's that Garrett Wilson is the 5th highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and he's not better than AJ Brown. He's not better than Monra. He's not better than T. Higgins.
But it
might be better than T. Higgins, but it's close, right? Like, he's not better than these dudes. So to pay him 32.5, yeah, looking at the whole league, it seems absolutely ridiculous. I'll take your quarterback deal into consideration, but it's not like A.J. Brown, his first 3 years, had a Hall of Fame All-Pro guy slinging on the ball. As a Titans fan, it was Tannehill throwing the ball. And we're talking about
DeAndre Hopkins for years did it with whoever was throwing him the fucking ball.
You want to put Garrett Wilson in the same conversation as D-Hop right
now? It goes
to
the decision of, like, great wide receivers find a way to make it work. Because, like, when you look at Garrett Wilson, he is a part of that offense. Last season, he had almost 170 targets. And, the 2023 season. Last season, he had almost 160 targets. And when you're thinking of a wide receiver, that's a lot of fucking targets. And I know that these wide receivers nowadays are getting the number ones, but it's not like he's not part of the offense. I get Isaiah's point. I think that is a factor. Zach Wilson throwing you the ball compared to a Joe Burrow throwing you the ball, I think that is a factor. But also, you see the Justin Jeffersons, you see the DeAndre, you see these guys that can go out there and shine, and it may be just the run after catch shining or the playmaker ability. I think Garrett Wilson last year, had he averaged 10 yards per reception. And off the jump, what that tells me is that, he's getting the ball, and then there's not a lot of, yards after catch going on. There's not a lot of playmaking going on. So those are factors that I also include. But I think Isaiah's point of who's throwing him the ball is a factor. I mean, it's not like he's been playing 5-6 years with the same quarterback. It's, he's had a shakeup the last few years. He had some head coaching changes. He had the whole Salah thing going on. It's been a lot of noise up there. And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have faith in Garrett Wilson. I think he has all the talent in the world. I just need to see it. And who knows, at the end of the season, he comes out with 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns. I'm going to be like, you know what? That contract might end up paying off.
We also do need to put in perspective, like, how these deals are signed, like, have been signed over the last couple of seasons. Because, like, if we take quarterbacks, for example, and I know that is a completely different story, but just for context, right? Like, Lamar Jackson, when he signed his extension, which was in 2023 for 5 years, $260 million. At the time, he was the highest paid player in the league. You want to know where he stands in terms of just quarterbacks now, as of today?
10,
10
8.
or
4,
10 to 12
5,
probably.
6, 7, 8,
Get your
10
toes out
on
to
the
count.
nose. 10 on the nose, and it's been 2 years.
I mean, I that is
So
the status, right? I mean, that's the kind of the new wave.
like, that's the thing, right? Like, right now, yes, it may seem absurd, but then I can tell you what wide receivers are up for new contracts here shortly. But God, by this time next year, he may be closer to 10 than he is to 5.
I asked my buddy this today, and I want your guys' take on it to kind of put this all into perspective to Isaiah's point there. With the contracts every year, I mean, we're seeing Trey Hendrickson sit out now, right? We see almost all the second round picks sitting
TJ
out.
Watt.
We're seeing, and deservingly so, I think Trey Hendrickson deserves to get paid. But it's like when somebody resets the market that maybe shouldn't have reset the market, or even if they deserve so, then, who's to say 2 years from now, A.J. Brown's like, you know what, I want to fucking why am I making less than this guy? And then all of a sudden, I'm not saying he's that type of person because I don't think he is. But I'm saying that's just when the question that I want to pose to you guys is we've seen and we've talked about briefly is the NBA implementing the second apron to kind of limit these teams from having 3-4 max dudes. Like the Celtics basically had to figure it out, right? I think they're the prime example of it. And obviously, the MLB is kind of wide open. And then NFL is it going to go more towards the salary cap's just going to keep going up, 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 and up?
But it is a hard cap.
Yeah, but are we just trying to see? Is there going to be anything that comes in to kind of mediate that? Do you think the NFL step because it's the Deshaun Watson contract went to shit? We're obviously seeing a lot of these head coaching contracts go to shit because they're getting fired a year into a 5-year deal. Is it going to take a couple of these contracts to kind of get out of hand, bite these owners in the ass to kind of see some changes? Or do you think the Players Association and the NFL is just going to keep letting it ride? And here we go. We have the MLB where people are we're seeing contracts 500 million, 600 million. Is that going to be the thing in 5-10 years?
NFL ownership's already been bit, and they're not heeding their own warning. Deshaun Watson's contract was the most glaring situation I think NFL owners have seen. Of we guaranteed this guy hundreds of millions of dollars, and he flubbed. So I don't understand how NFL teams aren't learning from that. Obviously, there was a lot more off the field stuff, all the other BS that comes with Deshaun Watson. But I think if they were going to pay attention, Rob, they would have already. You know what I mean?
So you think the NFL as a whole, and Goodell and Isaiah, we can go to you next, but Goodell, NFL owners, they're fine with these contracts just going up and up.
Yeah, I think
obviously the profits are there.
At this point, they're paying dudes out the ass.
Unless I'm misunderstanding what you're trying to say, yes, the contracts are going to continue to go up and up because it's just like inflation, right? Like what you were getting paid a couple years ago, you should be getting paid more now, just solely based off of inflation. But when essentially the way that these contracts or salary caps are lined up, it's based upon the revenue that the league is bringing in, right? So, and I'm assuming there's a salary floor along with a salary cap with the NFL, but you have to think from a player's perspective, from an NFLPA standpoint, right? Like I already know that there's been reports out there that owners like they have tried to collude, saying like after the Deshaun Watson trade, where they fully guaranteed that contract, where they're trying to like we can't do this, like and
I think that's
Goodell
what's going on with the second round picks right now too. I
and
think that's the same thing.
I think Goodell was like telling like owners like do not do this, like do not make like, and that's just a lawsuit in itself if it is true, and it may become a thing because you're essentially colluding to not pay or give out specific contracts or structure contracts a specific way, you know, and the players don't have a say in that, right?
Yeah, and my question might have came off, but like think about baseball. When you think of the Dodgers, you think of the Yankees. They go out and they sign whatever fucking free agent they want for whatever amount they want. And then you see basketball this year. The Celtics had these teams are having to clear house, having to move people to fit under that second apron. And then the NFL, I mean, is this going to keep going up and up where most of the offense is making 40 million a year, most of the defense is making 35 million a year? I
I,
just think it's especially now that if you're not only guaranteeing first round picks, but now the second round picks want guaranteed. I think it's a trickle down effect, and then come in 2 years, we're having people sit out in the third round because they want 75% of their contract guaranteed. I just think it's a slippery slope. Of course, I want the guys to get paid. I think they should deserve a portion, if not a majority of the profits. But I also think there's teams making rash. For instance, I don't think Dak Prescott's worth 61, 62 million a year, and I think 90% of the league would have not have given him that money, but obviously the Cowboys did.
but
Um,
I think the NFL has their salary cap is the most logical out of all four major
Yes.
sports because you have the salary floor, you have a salary cap. It is up to each specific team as to how they are going to allocate those funds to field a championship team. Every team has the same parameters that they must follow, right? So you don't have a Dodgers that's spending three times as much as the lowest paying team out there. Or same thing, like I'm sure the discrepancy in the NBA is pretty absurd too, right? But within the NFL, they're all within the same standard deviation, right? Like there's not a huge flux. Like there's not one team spending $100 million more on their roster compared to another. So with all that being said, like I have no issues if Dallas wants to go and pay Dak $60 million to lead their offense and they think that's going to win them a championship. Go for it. That means you are making some crazy ass like moves on the back end to fill gaps and depth pieces, right? Like you must be really good at your job if you think you can pay Dak that much amount of money and win a championship, right?
Well,
But
yeah, you
that's their
just don't pay a running
prerogative.
back ever.
Yeah. Like there's ways
I,
around it, you know what I mean?
I agree with you, Isaiah. I think the NFL is probably the best of both worlds. Also, I do wish, and I think we've all agreed here, I wish the Fugazi of the signing bonus, because, like, for instance, Dak Prescott 60 whatever million a year is. In 2 years, they're going to figure out a way to convert something to a signing bonus to lower their salary cap, right? Like, if you sign a player for 60 million, therefore he should be eating up 60 million of your salary cap for each year that contract is in place. What we're seeing now is, well, they converted 20 million of it to a signing bonus going into the next year,
I mean, look
freeing
at
up 20
Mahomes'
million. Can we
contract. How
all
much of
agree
that is
that is
signing
ass?
bonus? How much
We agree
Mahomes?
they need to get that under wraps. So a salary cap is truly a salary cap.
I'd agree
Yeah.
with you.
If a team makes a bad decision, they should have to either cut them to save their losses, or they should have to deal with whatever fucked up contract they signed up with. They shouldn't be able to convert it to a signing bonus and wiggle it this way and wiggle it that way. I don't like that because it makes, when you go look at these salary caps and trying to figure out where your team's at, it makes it very difficult. as a fan to kind of follow along.
And I think that's something I have no idea when the CBA is up next in the NFL, but I would not be shocked if NFL players similar to NBA fight harder for more guarantees in their contracts.
You don't think
Because in the NBA and I think the MLB, I could be mistaken on that one. Those are fully guaranteed contracts. So when you see that come across the banner on ESPN of Juan Soto getting 15 years, $750 million, he's getting $750 million. It may be spread across 50 years, but he's getting that money, right? But when we see that in football, like these deals, Garrett Wilson, 3 years, $140 million, only $90 million is guaranteed. So he's going to see $90 million. He may never see that other $50 million of that contract. All right.
for sure.
So I wouldn't be surprised in the coming years if that becomes more like you see right now in this with the second rounders and the issue going on with them right now, right? Because Jaden Higgins and the linebacker from Cleveland, they got fully guaranteed contracts. So all these second round picks are like, why the hell would I sign for not a fully guaranteed deal now? Like the standard has been set. Like I'm not going to not do that now. So it's complete within like all these quarterbacks rights to, well, these other teams have done it. I'm better than these guys. I should get a fully guaranteed deal, you know? So I don't. NFL is so hard too because I understand like why teams don't want to give out guarantees because there's no guarantee that dude's gonna play more than a season. Sometimes like he could get injured like midway through this season and he's done, and you're on the hook for 100 mil now. So,
I also think, to wrap it up, I think it would also make it super exciting if I think that would incite more trades and more getting off a contract if there was more stipulations on, you know, if you're 3 million under the cap as a team and next week you check it and you're 20 million because you converted 17 of one guys to a signing bonus, as opposed to if they needed to make moves to get underneath, I think we would see a little bit more excitement, which I think as a fan, we all love to see. We don't like seeing boring, you know, free agency or boring trade deadlines.
Yeah. Rob, your proposal of like an apron or a second apron, it's interesting, right? But I said it when we talked about it last week or the week before. NFL ownership, these guys are some of the best businessmen in the world, right? They're going to find a way around it because the salary cap, as you've already alluded to, and we already know, everybody all together is a fugazi. It's all made up. None of this is real. Truthfully, I mean, the amount of money that's being thrown around right now is fucking absurd to play a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys had seen the ESPN article that came out, but within, I think it was the next 2 years in the NBA, there's going to be players that are going to get paid $1 million per game. So essentially get paid $82 million per year, which is
crazy.
Crazy.
Especially with the state of the NBA now where you're seeing a lot of rest going on, right? So like in a 4-game stretch, they sit 2 of those games. You just made fucking $1 million to be on this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in fairness, the NBA, there's 400 to 500 active NBA players that get to divvy up whatever that basketball revenue is compared to 50 active rosters, 53 in the NFL. There's 32 teams. There's almost 1,700 players in the NFL, right? And so there's that much less money. Like I know,
and we're not talking about everybody in the NFLPA either. You're talking practice squad guys and IR. I mean, there's probably 2,000 NFL players.
So the pie is much bigger that you're divvying things up. So it's really hard to compare across leagues. Like I know that people try and do. And that's just a byproduct of it.
All right, boys. Do we want to move on to
other
NFL news?
Yeah, do you guys want to talk about Trey Smith? Should we let the offensive lineman talk about Trey Smith?
Yeah,
I'm going to let Herb break it down.
Yeah, Herb, hit me.
Trey Smith is, in my opinion, easily the best interior offensive lineman in the NFL right now. He's up there.
Herbie.
Yes, sir.
as a host, you got to lead into it. Like, why are we talking about Trey
Well,
Smith?
why are we talking about Trey?
Yeah.
Oh, you
going on with
guys.
What
Trey?
Well,
happened?
thanks for the setup, guys. I really appreciate that. You guys did your part. Okay, so let me give it the proper
Paint the
Isaiah
picture. Paint the
shebang.
picture,
Set the
baby.
stage.
You want the time and date that this was reported by ESPN or what?
No,
You
just
don't
give
have to
us
go that
give
detailed.
us the basics.
Anyway, the guard who was franchise tagged by the Kansas City Chiefs, Trey Smith, got his deal done, which obviously everybody anticipated that happening when they tagged him. Got a 4-year, $94 million extension, making him the highest paid offensive lineman in the NFL. They are paying.
Offensive lineman, not just a guard.
No, that tops Tristan Wirfs in terms of overall.
Holy crap! Okay,
Yeah,
go off. I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Highest paid NFL lineman right now. He is the best interior offensive lineman. I hesitate to say he's the best offensive lineman because I think there's probably a couple tackles that are ahead of him. But, I mean, other than like a Quentin Nelson or Creed Humphrey in terms of interior line, nobody does it better than Trey Smith. I remember sitting there at the offseason, they were talking about he might be gone and Joe Thuney might be gone and all these different – they lost another one too, right? Another interior lineman or tackle. But regardless, they held on to their guy. Great decision by the Chiefs who, I mean, if you really look at their roster, they're not paying a whole lot of guys, man. Not like you think they would be for a team that is that elite in the NFL. So good for Trey Smith, man.
Goes back to the whole salary cap conversation that we're just having. They're able to
Mm-hmm.
pay their best players like the best players in the league, like they are, or close to.
And then they
Because they're
figure
able
out how to do it.
so much value everywhere else.
They figure out how to do it with a guy
opinion.
on NFL vet mins out there,
Mm-hmm.
So good for them. Good for Trey Smith. Well deserved.
I will say it always, like, I have nothing against the Chiefs or offensive linemen in general, but I will say whenever I do see a big offensive lineman deal like this, I do kind of go like, ooh, I had no idea Trey Smith was the highest paid offensive lineman now, but just to see those numbers being thrown around for an offensive lineman, it's just like, oof, that's a lot of money.
Hey, listen,
It's not sexy.
you buy a mansion, okay? Your homeowner's insurance is going to be quite a bit. All right? You buy a mansion in Patrick Mahomes, you're going to pay insurance on that son of a bitch. Trey Smith is at starting spot for him.
See, I don't know if I mean, I obviously as a former lineman, things like that. When I'm looking at Trey Smith, who came into the league in 2021, he's been a 4-year starter down there with 0 All-Pros and 1 Pro Bowl in 4 years. I mean, off the jump, I get it for the Chiefs fans. Lock up your guy. You just let Joe Thuney walk, who probably does have those accolades that warrant getting paid. But Herb is right. As far as overall O-lineman, I mean, he's making more than Penny. He's making more than Trent Williams. He's making more than Laramie Tunzel. He's making all the Eagles O-line. He's making more than them. This goes back to the conversation we just had of reset. It resets everything, and then we kind of go from there. Do I think Trey Smith is, worthy of $70 million guaranteed with, 4 years, $94 million? Time will tell. I mean, it's a rookie extension, but it is a lot to. And I try to balance my opinion with the state of the NFL right now and how it works. But I would have loved to see an All-Pro here or there. Maybe some accolades that kind of go along with it. Otherwise, I'm just looking at starts, and that's it for the guy. But they think he's their guy, and they think that, I mean, like Herb said, go out and protect Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that is worth every penny. If you think that's your guy to do it, then the contract is well worth it.
Listen, in my opinion, looking at the highest paid, okay, which are mostly all tackles. I mean, you don't have another guard until Landon Dickerson at 10 or 11. Wirfs, Panay, Trent Williams, Lane Johnson. Those are the only O-linemen who are better than Trey Smith. So for him to be in that conversation now, topping that conversation, I think it's well deserved. I don't think we need to hang our hat on whether a guard got all pro or not. It's how many sacks does he give up? How many times is he penalized? Right?
In fairness, his PFF grade had him at 14th last season.
Okay.
Just saying.
I'm not hanging it because they didn't vote him to the Pro Bowl.
No. Honestly, shout out to him and his agent for being able to get the highest amount of money for an offensive lineman. Like, I've always been an advocate. It's like I honestly could care less how much a player gets paid. Like, if a team is willing to pay them that amount of money, all the power to them. And
the problem is it resets everything.
Yeah, and I have no problem with it until it impacts my Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
And then
hey, I don't think you guys have. I mean, there's a little fear of having the best offensive line or having to pay the best offensive lineman, brother. I don't think you need to worry about it. Okay, I don't think you need to worry.
They have the
about
best wide receiver in football. They might have the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah,
I do think that there was a direction here with the Chiefs because you let Joe Tooney walk, and Joe Tooney was pushing 31, 32, and those missing accolades that Trey Smith had, Joe Tooney had. I think he had the last 3-4 years he made the All-Pro. But this Trey Smith is roughly 7-8 years younger. So you invested in a little youth, and you have to be seeing the potential out there for you to give this money. So if the Chiefs think it's there, then so be it. I just think, resetting the market didn't have to happen here, but that's the state of the NFL, man.
I bet they do also look at it from a Chiefs perspective too, that they know Kelsey's contract is going to come off the books next off season, so that's going to be $15+ million that's freed up, where they're completely okay, maybe overpaying a little bit on Trey Smith because they know they're going to have the money here in the next couple of years.
Look how Reed runs that offense, right? They're not paying a Justin Jefferson or some top dollar wide receiver. They're not playing top dollar at running back. So with that being said, you can sprinkle a little money along the O-line because, I mean, they rotate running backs in and out, whether it's Pacheco or Edwards-Helaire and the guys they've had coming in and out of there. Same thing with wide receivers. Now, when it's time for Rashee Rice and Worthy and these guys to get paid here in a few years, then, Travis Kelce contract will probably be off the books. It'll be I think they're doing it right. That hurts me to say.
Let's also not get ahead of ourselves saying that Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy are going to get paid here in the next couple of years. I think
one of them might, bro. One of them might.
I think one of them might. I'm just saying. I think the jury's out on them both still.
I mean, one got in a car accident.
Hey, you gonna call it a car accident? Like it was a fender bender?
Rashee Rice.
Yeah, but Rashee
Rice wrecked his Lambo on the highway and just walked away.
I'm well aware. No, you're the one who just called it a felony eluding.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that's called being an NFL player in Texas. That's called being a former SMU player in Texas. That's what that is.
You make it seem like he drove
like he bumped into somebody in the Kroger's parking lot.
Yeah, he drove 10 miles an hour over in a school zone.
The prosecutor is a former SMU Mustang, brother. You
gotta be. That's the only thing.
Rice. Hey, the NFL or the Chiefs owner has a little in down there at the prosecution team down there in Texas.
Hey, he said it wasn't me, and they said, "Hey, Mr. Rice, the vehicle's registered to you." So
I'm pretty sure they had video.
Of them running away. Of them running away. Yes. Yeah. I can't believe that happened.
That was the most cut and dry thing ever.
Oh my god!
So shout out to him and his lawyer. If we're gonna keep shouting out agents and lawyers,
I guess.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Okay. Oh, there was one more extension, non-player related as well. That's worth discussing. Because I know it has Big Rob hot and heavy. Rob, I'll give you the floor. Hit us with it.
I can present it here. So right now, while I can't seem to find the details of the extension completely, multiple sites have reported that Ryan Poles, who is the GM of the Bears, has signed an extension through 2029. So before we dive into that, I do want to run through some of the Bears' accomplishments since he has taken over. They currently have, the last 3 years, have a 0.275 winning percentage. They have 0 playoff wins, 0 division titles. They've gone 15-36, and they finished last place 2 out of the 3 years. They brought in Ben Johnson. I think the thought of the ownership group, at least with the Bears, I would think that they're just wanting to pair those two together. Because obviously, I think Poles did hire as a Eberflus. When he came in, remember they did that whole video of these two are going to take us to the promised land kind of thing, and that kind of went up in smoke. And I think they're giving him here's Ben Johnson. You've had the number 1 overall pick at quarterback, which you did choose Caleb Williams, which the jury's out as, you could have got Jaden Daniels. Because we all know how Jaden did, and we can obviously dive into their draft picks too. But how are you? Before I get into my opinion, I do want to get. Do you guys have an opinion on this? Because a little foreshadowing. I like the idea of giving, because we've talked about it before, but a head coach or a GM, I don't like giving them 1 or 2 years to turn a franchise around. I like them having an opportunity to get their guys in there and do what they want to do before jumping to the fire or things like that. But with that being said, I want to pass it over to you two to see if you guys have any thoughts on this. Otherwise, I'll tear it to shreds.
I will say, Rob, you did forget a couple accolades from that record, his record there.
Convenient, didn't he?
Yeah, very convenient. You
Convenient
forgot
from the Packers fan.
The two-time defending off-season champions.
Hell yeah!
Come on, they are winning in January and July, baby. You forgot to mention that.
The Bears are out wild.
You forgot
midsummer, bro. They're out crazy.
If we're talking about the Chicago Bears between May and July, they are the best team in the NFL. Just saying. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Herb, you got any takes?
Go for it. Just kidding. I'll jump in after.
Jeez, this kid's a mess. Yeah, I'm gonna defend Ryan Poles, but I'm gonna say this: I wish the Bears would have waited a year. Let's see how the Ben Johnson experiment goes. Let's see Caleb's development. Then we'll make a decision. So I think they jumped the gun. But if you look at Ryan Poles, I mean, have we talked about an NFL GM more in the past 2 off seasons other than Ryan Poles? Maybe the Giants with their Saquon snafu.
Eagles. Howie Roseman's always getting talked about.
Howie is always getting talked about. But anyway, Poles, I think, has been talked about heavily. He's making a lot of the right moves that would suggest the Bears are going to be happy with. And then here comes this extension. I mean, you look at the moves. What was the number one thing? He had to come in, rebuild the O-line. Well, was almost there last year. Now they feel like they're there, right? We got to get a run game.
Took them 4 years.
We're going to go out and get – hey, listen, Rome wasn't built in a day, brother, okay? You go out, you got Caleb, you get your quarterback. Sure, it was 1-1, but that took stones, right? He in the last 3 drafts, he's drafted 7 starters and another handful of role players. So it's not like he's missing in the draft. And the biggest thing is he got Ben Johnson to come to Chicago. Some people sit there and say, well, he came for Caleb. He came for the offense. Nonetheless, Poles had to get him to buy into what they're trying to do. I get it. The contract extension makes sense. Would have liked it next offseason as opposed to this. So that's my defense of Poles, if you want to go ahead and rip him to shreds now.
Sorry, before Rob rips him to shreds, I will also preface my personal opinion. I honestly could care less that Ryan Poles got extended because I personally believe Ben Johnson has more sway in that front office and personnel decisions moving forward than Ryan Poles does.
That's a fair take.
So when you think about it, it's like if that's the case, what is he really responsible for?
Polls, shaking hands, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the face.
I mean, I think that there are probably worse GMs in the league. I mean, we saw the flub from the Giants the last year with Saquon. I guess the qualm I had is I'm kind of in the same. I think Herb. I don't think we're far off. He still had, as of this report, he still had 2 years left on his deal. Therefore, give him another year. Come into the contract year, right? At that point, you can say, hey, are we progressing or are we not? Are we, did we bring in Ben Johnson? Do we draft Caleb? Are we treading water here? Are we making progress? That's when you make an extension offer. That's when you make that decision. It's not like this is going into his final year. They still had a couple years, and now you've extended them until obviously 2029. I see your point of the draft, but we can both be honest here. Herb. It's not like a lot of these. I mean, once you get past, they did have a lot of first and second round picks in these drafts, but once you get outside of that, it's not like It's not like he's doing crazy numbers, finding diamonds in the rough in the fourth, fifth round. I wouldn't call him like a GM wizard by any means. I mean, if Darnell Wright is your starter, you fucking should be. You drafted him 10th overall. So I definitely see that. Because the report I'm reading on this is saying that Bears fans were calling for his head in the middle of last season. And it's like, I do want to say actually, you know what, boys? I'm fucking happy they signed Ryan Poles as a Packers fan, bro. The guys, fucking give him, sign him till 2040, bro. Let's fucking let it ride.
Let him keep cooking. Let him keep winning May through July.
But to wrap it up, I do want to say this might be a discussion we have in 5 years whether Ryan Poles made the right decision drafting Caleb Williams. Because look what Jaden Daniels did last year. And we're not going to sit here and say that Caleb Williams doesn't have any targets, right? Because you have Keenan Allen, obviously an older Keenan Allen. But they did more for Caleb Williams than they did for Justin Fields. Okay. You went out and got DJ Moore.
Let's not sit here with 2020 hindsight after last season and be like everybody thought Jaden Daniels was going to be
but I'm saying
better
in 5 years. 5 years from now, and you're looking back and saying, okay, if Caleb Williams does turn out to be a fluke, then you're saying you took him, number 1 overall.
I'm sure Ryan Poles will sleep just fine at night with that Caleb Williams pick. What was they were saying before that draft? He was
that Caleb Williams' ass.
No, they were not saying that. They said he was the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. They were saying
Trevor Lawrence. Probably.
Yeah, that's a big stretch, bro.
Like. They thought this was everybody out there thought it was a no-brainer pick. So I think Ryan Poles is going to sleep just fine drafting him.
He's going to sleep just fine knowing that the quarterback you drafted finished 10th in the offensive rookie of the year voting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy for him. I hope that Caleb Williams plays just like he did last year every single year of his career.
You and me both, brother. As a Vikings fan, I feel you. But Ryan Poles, he's taking whatever that contract he just signed for, and I do know for front office jobs, those are fully guaranteed. So he's getting that money regardless.
Yeah, he's did a nice house there on the lake, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so seeing as we're talking about NFL front offices and head coaching and things like that, can I throw a little quote that was tossed around at the SEC Media Day? That was thrown out there and really, I think, needs to be looked at in a big way?
Let's hear it, big dog.
All right, so this is from Greg McElroy. You guys might remember him as a national champion winning quarterback down there for Alabama. He's now a talking head. Is he on Fox? He's on SEC Network? I think it's Fox, right?
Yeah, he's one of the casters. I don't know which one, though.
Yeah, so Greg, in this interview, said... quote, a very much in-the-know person that I have a lot of respect for and have spent a lot of time around and just really, really admire. They seem to think Nick Saban is not done coaching. he's pretty adamant that he thinks Nick Saban will be coaching again. So there's kind of a two-part to this. One, is there any validity to that? I mean, clearly it's coming from an inside source. Greg is probably still very close, especially being a member of the media now. But is he coming back? And if he does, where do you want Nick Saban to be coaching football in 2026? I'll throw it to you guys.
I'll kick it off. Nick Saban is almost 74 years old. And I did watch a lot of, what is it, ESPN? Is it Game Day on Saturdays where he was on there? I'm not going to lie to you, man. Some of the clips you saw, it looked like he was enjoying himself. Now, you do see some coaches or some players switch over to announcing and they just don't fit or it just doesn't make sense. But Nick Saban looked like he was having a good old time up there, traveling around, stuff like that. So I think that is a factor. And then also, obviously, the age is a factor. And then the last and kind of the nail in the coffin for me is I think Nick Saban is so far removed from this NIL life that we live in. He can't show up or have his assistant coaches show up at a player's house and talk to him about him and his wife. They're going to invite him over for dinner and talking about building these kids' character and all the thing that Nick Saban kind of brings to the table, which we've all heard. They have team dinners at their house every Sunday or whatever it was. I think with the NIL, it kind of removed that from. You can still have some of that, but it just kind of removes it from the situation. I just don't feel like Nick Saban. I just don't feel like he wants to dive into that. I mean, by the time obviously he's not hired this year, so it's like if he did get hired the next season, and we're looking at 75-year-old Nick Saban going out there, I just don't see it happening.
It is 2025. Can we get out of this phase that we are in that we have these 70-plus-year-old dudes, whether it be Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, continuing to hold on for as long as possible, a la Bill Snyder, who just wouldn't let go at Kansas State. And you can move this into the real world and like business, and you're seeing people older and older just staying in their roles, right? Like, retire. Go ahead and hang out with your family. I know Nick Saban has a very nice wife. I heard she makes great cookies. Keep doing your. It seems like you're enjoying your time fishing, with this free time that you have. You are almost 74 years old. Like, what is the attraction from his perspective, why would he want to keep doing this at that age? That is more than a full-time job. That's like 3 full-time jobs in itself, right? But then for these universities, I understand why you would want the thought of Nick Saban, like, what is it, 6-7-time national championship winner, this and that. But you have to look long-term picture. Okay, you hire Nick Saban. How long are you going to have him for? 2 years? 3 years? I think we're kind of in the same boat where you kind of have to give a coach, especially in college, especially now in this whole NIL landscape that we're in now. I guess you can expect a coach to come in and win, but that culture, right, usually takes a couple of seasons to build. And now he may only be there for a couple seasons. Like, I don't think any of us would be surprised if Bill Belichick's out at UNC within the next 5 years.
Listen, right? There's a lot of college football programs that would take Nick Saban for a year or two, dude. There's a lot of college football programs that are salivating at that idea. And I'm talking like some big programs.
And I'm sure there is. It just from like my personal perspective, like it just doesn't make sense to me. And maybe in this new NIL landscape, it does, because you can come out here and pay $25 million for your roster, and you can go from last to first very easily now, compared to like when PJ Fleck took over from Minnesota. Like, they were a downtrodden program, and it took a couple years of building that culture before we could really begin to evaluate what he was doing.
Dude, Saban
to wrap my.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, to wrap it up before we kick it over to you, I think because Isaiah posed the question of, why would he do it kind of thing. And I get that these old heads in the college football game, they have so much love for the game. And I think Nick Saban does. But if you told me Nick Saban, we didn't see him on game day this year, you told me he was at home, kind of restless, something like that was a scenario, I'd be like, you know what? It could happen. But now seeing that he's on game day, seeing he looks happy where he's at, which obviously I don't know firsthand. But if he did want to get in, I would rather see Nick Saban. You know how some of these old NFL coaches or even college coaches, they go into more of an analyst role or
An
they bring
advisor.
him back. I would rather see him do that because he can still enjoy his family time. He could probably still do game day or whatever the case is if he is truly enjoying that. But he can also still dive into college football because I saw a quote the other day. I can't remember what coach said it, but he's like, "We're not recruiting high school kids anymore." He said, "What we do now is we recruit other teams basically, and that's kind of the market now." And I think Nick Saban's in the same boat of some of these other old heads that are just like, it's if I wanted to coach an NFL team, I would. This is not. I mean, this isn't. We're no longer character developing. We're no longer turning these boys into men. We are, just trying to improve the roster with whatever money we can dive into.
We're turning these men into millionaires.
Yeah.
Dude, imagine being for 50 years of your life, every day you go to work, and it's not, I'm going to do the best job I can. It is, I'm going to absolutely win this entire day for 50 years. And then one day it just stops. That doesn't leave you. Nick Saban, I think we can all agree, is the ultra competitor in the coaching world, right? Like he is top dog in terms of competitiveness. There's not a football coach in the world that probably wants to win more than he does. I don't think that ever leaves you. Imagine sitting on your couch and just sitting there wanting to win. It's not happening. So I get why. So let me tell you guys this. According to reports, these would be the three most likely landing spots if Nick Saban came back. Y'all ready for this? Number
Let's
one
hear it.
is making a jump to the NFL game again, and that's the Giants or Bengals,
I
depending on
didn't
their
go well last
situation.
time.
Correct, it did not. And that's really not his realm. I think we can all agree on that. College, LSU. The deal with Coach Kelly, and are they tired of it? They're not getting the national championships like they expect to, and it's Nick Saban. And the third option is Kalen DeBoer ain't working out at Bama. Let's bring old Nick back. So where would you guys want if he said, "Hey, I'm coming back"? Where would you want to see him? Either college or NFL.
This is. I'll give you my take. If for some reason he just says, you know what, I have this itch, I gotta itch it. I definitely see the LSU tape because that's where he kind of. I think he coached there 4 or 5 years in the early 2000s, probably. So it'd be kind of a return. I've mentioned this before, but I love a good story. So I'm kind of over the Alabama thing. I think they kind of keep trucking along. I would love him to go back to West Virginia. I would. He he's from there. I think born and raised there. He obviously went to Kent State, but I think early on in his coaching career was, I think he spent a year or two at West Virginia as some sort of a D-back coach or something like that. And I don't know that I would like to see him as a head coach because obviously they just hired Rich Rodriguez. But I think what West Virginia is doing right now, which Herb, you and I have talked about that, kind of how they're trying to shift that focus. They brought in, I think McAfee's a portion of it. I think they're trying to do something crazy down there. If Nick Saban, hey, go to West Virginia and help them be better, brother.
That's quite the pick.
Uh, I don't. I mean, I'm not giving a pick. This is the dumb conversation. Like, it's not going to happen.
How many dumb conversations do we have
But-
every week, bro? Like,
But it's dumb. It's dumb. But I will say, if in some alternate universe he was to, I think I think it would be really cool if he did. And I know the situations are different, but like what Rick Pitino did, where he was considered a, a very good coach. Like, I'm not going to say all time like coach, but a respected coach, right, in college basketball. And I know he had a scandal at Louisville, but then he goes to Iona, which was a mid-major school that hadn't had a lot of success, brings them to a couple tournaments. Then he goes to St. John's, a school that has been very bad at basketball since the early 2000s, right? And makes them prevalent again, right? Like, I will say it would be cool because he's already won his championships. Like, he's already done that, right? So it's not like he needs to do that again. So it would be kind of cool to see him go to one of those schools, smaller schools that have kind of been downtrodden the last, like Kent State. Like, how random would that be? But then Nick Saban goes there and coaches his last couple seasons there. Like, the storylines of that would be pretty cool. I don't think it's gonna happen, but regardless, like, I just don't think he's gonna come back and coach. But I think that would be pretty cool.
Herb, I think I'm going to add, just because when we play college football, video games, we love the story of it, and I think Nick Saban.
If you take what
to
I'm
what
about to
Isaiah
say,
just said,
if you take what I'm about to say, I'm gonna be very upset.
I
with
think
you.
he goes back. He goes to Kent State. That's where he played college football at. That's who gave him the first opportunity as a GA, as a linebacker coach. That's who launched you into the coaching world. You go back to the fucking Max Struhl and you turn that bitch around, baby. You win the MAC. let's get this boat going, baby. So that is my honorable mention, baby. Give me West Virginia or give me Kent State. I love a good story.
Wait,
But
did
I
I
agree. I
say
don't think
Kent
it'll
State
happen.
as like the random school?
That's what you said.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had history there. That's hilarious.
Wow. Couple
Did I take yours?
No, you didn't. Thank God. I thought you were. I thought we were. I thought we were locked in. So like,
What did you have?
well, so
What did you
there's
have?
a couple coaches on the hot seat right now at big time programs that if these schools decided to move on, you could see it, and that being Oklahoma, USC, and Florida State. Now, it's very unlikely USC is going to move on from Lincoln Riley. Florida State has big figure it out year coming. Oklahoma, who knows? But I'm going to throw a dark horse
Is
at
it
you.
really?
Go ahead.
Let's hear it.
No, go ahead,
I was
Isaiah.
gonna say, is it really that unlikely that USC might move on from Lincoln Riley?
Yeah, I think Lincoln's got a year or two
They
after
suck.
this season. I think they're too financially invested in him to move forward from him. But the dark horse of dark horses.
From like USC. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
I mean, I don't need to give my take. We can just move on to the next if you want.
I want your take, baby. Come on, give me your story. Give me your
The
dark horse.
darkest dark horse, Virginia Tech, where the ACC starts becoming the retirement home of these head coaches, and give me Saban Belichick in the ACC, baby. That's what I want. That would be incredible.
You want Nick Saban running out to Enter Sandman?
No,
huh?
let's
That'd be sick.
honestly, let's just send Saban to Duke, and then him and Belichick are 5 miles down the road from each other. They can go and get coffee in the morning, and go about their ways each day. Go to practice.
I do think Saban's age is because I think what Kirk Ferentz is probably late 60s. I think Belichick's early 70s. I think Saban would be by far the oldest head coach in college football.
Probably. Hey, Nick, don't worry about college football in terms of coaching. Let's finally get a commissioner of the NCAA football, and let's put Nick Saban at the top, get this thing off the ground, give it a couple years, and then he can transition out. Put Nick in the commissioner role for college football.
I do like that. I do think the college football needs something. They need something to fucking level out everything that's going on.
Something.
All right, boys. What do we got next on the docket here? We have our NFL team preview.
Oh no! Before
Oh,
we do that,
something
Go
different.
ahead.
if we'll do that today, I want to talk about the MLB draft. I think it's still currently going on. But round one was a couple of days ago. Um, and I can't really tell you any of the players that got drafted. I know the Nationals drafted some 17-year-old kid, high school kid, youngest kid ever to be drafted first overall. So shout out to him. He's probably gonna get so much booing at whatever high school he's at right now through the end of the year.
That's crazy. Go
But
on.
Jesus.
um,
I mean, come on.
I
He's a high
don't
school
know
kid.
about you guys. Okay, what were you doing in high school as a senior? Let's talk.
Playing football.
Yeah. Okay.
Playing,
Next topic.
playing football.
But I just had to bring it up. Like, I don't know about you guys and how much you pay attention to it. I don't understand the MLB draft format concept in the slightest. Like, nothing about it makes sense. Like, for example, like the White Sox, who had set the record for most losses in a season last year, just last season. Their pick was at what, 10th or something,
Mm-hmm.
because whatever rule saying that you can't have a top whatever pick for multiple years in a row, which cool, yeah, that tries to help with the whole tanking thing. I understand the concept of it. Then you have the first round, I think, was only like 26, 27 picks, because three teams don't even get first round picks because they spent too much money. I think it's the Yankees, Dodgers, and somebody else. They just get their first round picks taken away. Okay, I guess that makes sense, supposedly. Well, then you have, between round one and round two, you have something called a competitive balance round, where essentially teams will get extra picks because a player will sign somewhere else for a bunch of money. So depending on how much the contract is, it determines the pick. Whatever. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Helps out the smaller market teams that can't pay their players, or refuse to pay their players, I should say. Then you have round two. Okay, fine. Then you have between two and three. You have this competitive balance B round. Same concept. But then the thing that just doesn't make sense to me when comparing it to any of the other uh, three major professional North American sports leagues is the best players not getting drafted first overall. It's this like cat and mouse game of each slot, like first overall, second overall, so on and so forth. There's slot values, so they can sign for a max of X amount of dollars, but they will draft like the Nationals. What they're saying is they drafted this 17-year-old kid because they weren't going to sign him close to whatever that max value slot was. So essentially, they're saving themselves a couple $1 million that they then can throw at another kid or a couple of kids in later rounds to try and either A, convince them, if it's a high school kid that's committed to a college, to not go to college, just jump right into professional league, into rookie ball, or they're talking with these kids' agents of saying, "Hey, we're picking in 5 picks or something. We're willing to offer you $2 million above whatever the slot value is." So essentially, if another team calls you, tell them that you're not going to sign with them, and then we'll pick you, type of thing. Like that doesn't make sense to me, right? Like, if I was a fan of the team drafting first overall, right, and I hear that, oh, I feel like I'd be pissed. Like, I want the best player, right? Like,
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
Nothing about the MLB draft makes sense when you compare it to any other draft in American professional sports. You're drafting future potential, right? No part of it makes sense because there are those exceptions, and then there's competitiveness picks, and then there's these exceptions in the rules on where you can pick and where you can't. I mean, nothing makes fucking sense. They draft in the middle of the goddamn season, right? And I get that it really doesn't affect the big league clubs, so might as well just do it in season. But it's weird. Nothing about the MLB draft makes sense whatsoever to me. It feels like a nightmare when you're really trying to break
Yeah.
it all down.
Yeah, I think I'm with you guys on that. I did try to understand it because I didn't want to feel like an idiot, but looking it up how it works doesn't make it any better. I think the first 6 picks are kind of like the NBA where it's a lottery. And you have a percentage chance to get the first top 6 picks, and then you mix that in with the compensatory picks paired with the competition picks, and then it's just kind of all over the place. And it's kind of like the NHL draft that happened a few weeks ago, where some of these guys are not going to see right away, obviously. Um, but like Urban, we looked up that guy, the Cubs guy we drafted a few years ago. I mean, he's been on A team, a double A team here, a triple A team there, and now we're 4 or 5 years in, and we're not even up to the Iowa Cubs yet, right? So it's like it's it's interesting. I wish it was more fan friendly. I wish it made more sense. But you're taking a lot of swing and misses here, right? Because you're drafting sometimes high school kids, and hoping they can make that jump to league ball. I do want to give a shout out to a little Iowa native that did go in the first round. Um, Sean Gamble, I think out of Dallas Center Grimes area. He's a second baseman. He got drafted number 23 overall to the Royals. Um, Shout out to him. I think it was one of 2 or one of 3 Iowa players to go first round in the MLB draft. He did play at IMG, I think, since he was like 15 or something like that. So that tells you all you need to know about him. But yeah, that's a shout out. But other than that, bro, the draft is just. I've gotten to the point now where I look to see who the Cubs drafted after the draft, and there's no enjoyment aspect of it. When we watch the NFL draft, we're tuned in. There's an event. It's for the fans. And with MLB, it's like I get their prospects, and they're not going to be a day one starter, but you can make it more fan friendly. You can make the draft a little easier to understand without shifting it around too much. Don't do it in the middle of the fucking season. That's a start. I don't think it's Rob Manfred, right? That's the commissioner of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's gonna fucking do a damn thing.
But like taking what you said, like it's potential, right? Like there's a lot of swings and misses, right? I think you can say that about all professional drafts, right? Like there's no guarantees, right? But at least in the other leagues, you are taking like you're not taking the 10th best player first overall in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence isn't falling to number 5.
He should have.
Maybe
Go
he
on.
should have looking back at it, but like at that time, like you're taking like it's a no-brainer. You're taking him as the best player. I'm swinging on who I think the best player in this draft is. If he's a bust, he's a bust, right? In the and but the MLB, it's like we think this guy's going to be good, but we also know that we can sign him for a lot less than we have to, or what we can sign him for, right? Even though there's for sure potentially better players lower on the board. It's like if I'm going to swing and miss, like what the MLB draft is, what 30 rounds or something. You have plenty of swing and miss opportunities. Swing at the best like players.
And let's be honest, you're going to find a
I think
Cuban
with
14-year-old in
Yeah,
and sign
round
him,
102.
and that nobody's ever heard of. The kid's never even seen a television before. He only hears about baseball on the radio. That's the kid who's going to be the superstar in the MLB.
Right.
I think we talked about it with basketball now lately too, and we're instead of a player that deserves to go 10th overall, we're drafting on a potential. Like this guy averaged 4 points. He played overseas, but he has potential, and that's going 10th, 11th, 12th overall. A lot of raw talent out there. I think the NFL, I would probably say, is the most. First and second rounders probably convert to day one starters. Um, but yeah, I think with baseball, it's a shoot in the dark, bro. If 2 out of the 12, 14 guys you draft, or however many you draft, pan out and make it to the majors, I think you're kind of in a good spot. Because right now we also have, I don't know how many players are in each organization, but there's A, AA, and AAA. There's probably already 100 prospects in the Cubs organization just fucking sitting there, and so you're just adding to that. It's tough to make it, man. It's tough to make it in the major leagues. Good luck to all those kids. But there's nothing to watch with MLB. I'll probably read later who all the Cubs drafted and go from there. I mean, there's no fan aspect of it.
No, I won't care about any of the players the Twins drafted until they make it to the major leagues, and then I'll pay attention.
The fun thing about being here is the Iowa Cubs being here, so we gotta get a glimpse like of PCA before he made it big. Obviously this year, but you see little glimpses of that. So I do like that aspect of being here in Des Moines, getting to see a little bit of a foreshadowing of what's to come, possibly making it up to the Cubs roster.
Don't worry, for every Des Moines, Iowa, there's a Charlotte, North Carolina, and I have to choose to watch the Chicago White Sox farm system, and that is just a pain that I would not put on anybody else. It is horrific.
Let's just get you a LaMelo Ball jersey, and you can be the most dedicated Hornets fan we've ever seen.
Dude, I might get a Knipple jersey. Low key.
That would be a dope-ass jersey.
Low key.
That's kind of a frat house jersey, but that's
It's 100% a frat house jersey. A Con Knipple, the Con Knipple, the teal one, that's destined for frat row all next year.
The teal pinstripes, I think, could be a play, but I also am approaching 30.
Yeah, Isaiah, don't do that.
Don't
Let
know
it ride,
if jerseys
bro.
play anymore.
I say you do it, bro.
Wait, Rob, talking NBA, I don't know if you had saw from the other day, the craziest poster I had ever seen before in my life happening in Summer League. For those that aren't aware, our boy, Johnny Furphy, Kansas alum, bench player for the Indiana Pacers, absolutely yammed a basketball like I have never seen a basketball yammed over the one and only Chicago Bulls first round pick. What's his name again, Rob?
Noah Essengay, right? Is that right, Eric?
Yeah.
Noah Essengay.
Yeah, no,
you would probably know best as a Chicago Bulls fan.
I saw the clip.
Tell me about it.
Listen. That was a dunk, bro. Like, Johnny Furphy, great for you, dude, because that's a slam. While I don't think, like, the poster, like, the physical act of it was so bad, the facial expression on Noah Essengay.
Put the clip up right here.
You would have.
When we do the clips later,
yes.
put the clip right here.
What you would have thought a bomb was going off behind his head the way that he, it's so bad. And for everybody who decided to try to roast me over this whole my disdain for the Bulls right now and their choices, again, I don't want to sit here and hate on the person that Noah Essengay is. I'm sure he's a fine young man.
He's an 18-year-old. Remember that. He's only 18. Yeah,
well, he just ended up on SportsCenter's top 10, number 1, looking like this. Okay, I don't know what to tell you. Like it's so bad, dude. It's. I mean, if there was a summation of where Bulls fans are at, it is just a zoomed in photo of Noah Essengay's face because that's how it feels right now.
It sucks that this happened in Summer League because that was maybe the best poster I have ever seen before. Like, not even like just completely forgetting about whatever was going on with Noah Essengay and his facial expressions. That dunk itself was one of the dirtiest dunks I've ever seen before in my life.
It was naughty.
Yeah, I think I saw the sideline view of it. I think that everyone saw it first, and just to see Johnny dribble down, kind of a little shimmy, and then he's 6'8", just cocks it back.
Dude, that thing was behind his head.
And just
thing might have been
dunks all over.
That thing might have been
that
his
image
ass.
After that was.
Wait, guys.
NBA players went nuts. It's crazy.
I want to take the opportunity here as well. We've talked about it in previous episodes. Shout out White Boys. We might be back.
He's from Australia, bro. He's half. What the fuck you mean?
Wait, what?
Let's not start that debate. Let's not start that debate.
What, that Australian only makes you half white?
We don't know his lineage.
He's from
okay?
Melbourne,
We don't
baby.
know his lineage. I mean, jeez.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
To wrap it up, it was a tough day to be a Bulls fan that day. But Herb, if you want to share a little bit about the bright side of your the Bulls right now is last year's draft pick, right?
Montes Bazulis, little boozy vert. Dude, that kid's going to be something special.
Went for 30 last night, right?
Can we figure out a nickname for him?
Yeah,
we got to get something. We can't say that name every
little
time.
boozy vert. Okay. Listen, I didn't make the nickname. It's not like I'm sitting here peddling it. Okay, this was ordained upon him. Okay, you don't pick your nicknames; they just are what they are. Dude, I tell you what, that kid's got. I am not comparing him to KD, but there are moments of his game where you can see the flow and the ability with the ball. I'm excited about Montes Bazulis. I am not super excited about Noah Essengate. I mean, he looks like he sniffed a bad fart in that photo, like a bad one. It's so bad, dude. It's so bad.
That photographer deserves
so much money.
Give him a Pulitzer, huh?
I don't know, money or put in jail. Let's hope he didn't work for the Bulls organization. Let's just say
that picture needs to be hung in what's the place in
the Louvre?
Louvre?
The Louvre.
Louvre, yeah.
Needs to be hung
the what?
The I didn't know how to pronounce it.
Well, you saying the Louvre and Rob the Louvre.
I didn't say nothing, bro. You must. There must have been feedback in your headset, bro. I didn't say shit.
It's the Louvre.
Dude, you have to remember, I'm English. I don't know.
Are you from England?
I don't know how to roll my tongue, my R's.
You from West London or East London?
I don't know how to.
It's French. You don't have to roll your R's. It's French.
Pronunciations that are happening in that word that don't make sense.
It's because it's named in French. The name is written in French. It's not in English. What are we doing here?
I understand the concept. I understand what language.
We're having a social studies class in the middle of
You make it seem like I don't know the words French. I'm saying I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, that there tortilla. I don't understand why they spell it like tortilla. Why don't they spell it like Americans? That's what you sound like right now.
You should watch Isaiah try to say Mbappe's name, bro.
Boy.
That would be a.
No, I know Mbappe. That's easy.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's also not French. It's also not French.
Players. That seemed. What is it,
Yeah, I mean, it may have French origin way deep down in there, but Mbappe is not French.
Why are you assuming it's not French? Why are you assuming it's not French?
We're not going to do this here, Isaiah. Okay.
Yeah,
we're not going to do this here.
We're probably not. But since we are on NBA, one thing I wanted to bring up, and I had mentioned it before we started filming this, guys. I think there's something potentially happening in the NBA that could change the entire landscape. I saw far too many times scrolling through Twitter today, and I'm not saying it was a one-off thing. I'm telling you, more than two handfuls of times, I saw tweets going around that LeBron James is going to be traded to the Dallas Mavericks. And yes, I did just say LeBron James to the Dallas Mavericks.
With what fucking money? What money? With what money?
If that was to happen, could you imagine NBA Twitter afterwards?
I mean,
it's not going to happen.
Do I?
With what money?
Right.
We were already talking about if an owner's willing to pay the luxury tax, they could go do whatever the hell they wanted.
Fair enough. You just got a shit ton of big deals.
More sense to go? And what team makes more sense than the Dallas Mavericks, who have his two of his best buddies in Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving just chilling out there, waiting for a leader?
I think it's going to happen? No. I agree with Herb on that. But what I do think is I think Isaiah's point, there is some validity. I mean, I think you had Rich Paul talk about the Lakers are kind of not in a rebuild mode, but they're doing them, and he said LeBron wants to compete for titles. So you can take that for what it's worth, and then you have other NBA players like Gilbert Arenas and things on podcasts saying that they think LeBron's going to get moved. I mean, it could happen. I don't think it happens. If it does happen, I think a sleeper pick would be the Cavaliers.
Is that really a sleeper pick?
That's you just loving stories.
It's not. It's a story pick right there. I think that
would be one of the top 2 picks that everybody would say if he was going to get traded.
You can say he can go to the Suns to watch his son play college basketball, but I think the reason the Cavaliers is I think they have a lot they could give up and still be competitive. That's the reason I was going to say the Cavaliers. I think they can give up a Garland or something like that and still maintain a championship or a competitive roster with LeBron on the roster for the next year or two. But I don't think that would happen.
How much are you giving up for a 42? Almost a 42-year-old LeBron James at this point?
Still quite a bit. You're still giving up quite a bit for LeBron James.
There was
on an expiring contract.
There was, I think, as Sports Illustrated did it, a couple mocks, and I think it was Garland and Jarrett Allen.
Really?
And LeBron and whatever fillers they have to throw in there, whether it's somebody else. But yeah, that was kind of you still keep Donovan Mitchell, you still keep a couple of those players, but yeah, you because Darius Garland's making I think $40 million a year, and then Jarrett Allen's making 20-25.
Dude, I feel like that would be a tough pill to swallow.
If you're trading for LeBron James, you are in the mentality that we are selling out everything to win a championship this season, and we don't care about the next 5 years after. That's what you have in my mind. That's the mentality you would have to have. So does that fit for Dallas? Yeah, it absolutely does, because their window, I don't think, is as wide as a lot of people think it is. Obviously, getting Cooper Flag, that helps out a lot. But so sure, does it make sense? Yeah. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't. I think the Lakers are stuck on that wagon. Let him play a year. Let him have his retirement tour, and then Bron, sail off in the sunset, brother. I don't see the trade happening.
It just feels like it's one of those things where there's smoke, there's fire, and I feel like there's been so much smoke about LeBron not playing this season in LA the last couple of weeks, between what we're hearing from Rich Paul plus just I feel like we're hearing it a lot on like Sports Center and all these media outlets of is he going to be moved, right? Like, I feel like it's a not 0% chance he is playing for another team.
No, I don't think it's a 0% chance. I do think it's low. I also attribute some of these news stories we're seeing in clickbaity stories is there's not fucking anything going on. And First Take needs something to fucking yell at each other for 3.5 hours, and this should be one of them. I think that there is a little bit of that in there too, but I don't think it's completely a 0% chance. I mean, if Pelinka over there thinks that, they want to build around Luka and getting off if LeBron is doing it, is able to help with that, then I think they make that choice. But I don't know if Pelinka leaves it up to LeBron to decide or if it's something they do,
I don't know. It seems like they're really trying to cut LeBron out of all decision making. Did you see the report of, like, I think it was right after the season ended, where Pelinka, Jenny Buss, Luka, and Luka's business manager went to dinner to discuss the future. There's one key name that was not included there, and I think we all know who that was.
Bron.
Luka on defense?
LeBron James. Like, it seems like they've already kind of...
When did Rich Paul become the GM of like 4 different NBA teams? Why is the NBA allowing Rich Paul to essentially do this deal because his guys are mostly involved.
He's like the Godfather behind the scenes.
I don't understand. I don't
He's like the
understand why we
Godfather of the
allow that.
NBA, bro. I swear.
I
to
don't
God.
understand why the NBA allows Rich Paul to essentially create these trades, propose them to the teams, and then now we're going. That doesn't sit right with me.
NBA, man.
That doesn't sit right with me. And I'm sure that kind of thing happens all the time with agents, but
sure,
it seems
yeah.
like Rich Paul is always in the middle of this shit.
I'm sure Rob's not too upset because it was able to get the Phoenix Suns, whatever his name from Duke, in the draft.
Malawak.
Hey, that's Devin Booker Jr., baby.
Malawak, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Kobe Bryant.
No,
I like how
there's
you
a
I
clip
like
out
how
there
you were
where,
focused on your second round pick and not your first round pick.
No,
Kobe Bryant, Devin Booker Jr.
there's a video out there of Rich Paul in a car on draft night saying, "Hey, I think we can, like, the Suns is where we want to go," and that's where he went.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Welcome
I
home,
don't like
baby.
that whatsoever. Rich Paul, stay out of it.
All right, boys.
I do want to also shout out. I know we're flipping around a lot here. Got to shout out Big Dumper, and winning the home run derby last night. Although I do hate everything that the MLB has done with the home run derby. It was the story of Cal Raleigh winning that with his dad throwing and his 16-year-old brother, which I don't know how old Cal Raleigh is. I think he's 26. Seems like kind of a young brother. His younger brother catching behind him. So pretty cool family affair there. So do want to shout him out before.
Can I say something on the MLB All Star real quick? What a shame it has gotten with the MLB that the home run derby's on a Monday night and the All Star game is on a Tuesday night. I mean, you want to talk about viewership issues with baseball? I don't know. Let's put it on a Friday night and a Saturday night. Why are we playing in the middle of the week? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I think that there's I think because the argument that we talked about with all-star games in general is, off our clip last week was they're saying it's for the fans. Is a home run derby on a Monday fucking night for the fans? Not to mention, the viewership was right around 5 to 7 million, which I guess is okay. But I mean, I didn't watch it, but everything I'm reading is saying ESPN not only they obviously presented it, and they shit the bed, and that had to do with camera cuts, losing there was multiple times that the fan didn't know whether it was a home run or not because the camera panned away from it. It was just a weird presentation wise, but I agree. Monday night, if we're not doing it on the weekend, we're not talking, bro. It doesn't make sense. Not only did we not know who was in the home run derby 3 days ago, it felt like I just would miss the days where you're just seeing your favorite player go up there and just yak the fuck out of the ball.
I just hate how it's turned into a stamina contest now,
Mm-hmm.
with it being 2 minutes or whatever. It's literally the dude that can last the longest. Like
Amen, brother.
Shout out. There is nothing better than when I think home run derby, I think of Josh Hamilton in what was that, like 2008 in New York, where he hit 33 bombs or something in the first round, and you were able to see the moment breathe because each player got 10 outs, right, and then they're done. Whenever you got your 10 outs, there's no time limit on it, and you would hit the ball and you would actually see the camera pan and just watch the ball all the way until it drops, and then you can go back to the player, and he hasn't even stepped back in the box yet. He's just he's able to admire it, and it's like everybody's just it felt so much more electric than whatever the hell it is now. Like I just hate the format. All of it doesn't make sense. We didn't know who the players were gonna be until 2 days beforehand. I don't think they did the bracket this year, but they were doing brackets before that, pinning dudes against each other. These bonus balls, why are we overcomplicating a home run derby?
You also had the
Also,
who's
I
who
think that
of names in the
the
MLB playing in that. I just want to make that point. Like, there were not a lot of
yeah
big names in this one.
no,
See, I had that
and it's
argument with
also
somebody else in a different group chat. I was like, I remember when the home run derby was Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire,
everyone on steroids.
Hey, bring him
but
back.
still, like even then, they were
Let
You're
let
on
him juice,
steroids.
baby.
they were
Fuck
still
it.
Are
At
you on
this point,
steroids? Yeah, you're in the home
you're
run
in.
derby.
but they were still the biggest names,
Yes.
like some of the biggest names in baseball at that point. Now, I think you can say obviously you can say that about Cal Raleigh in the season that he's having right now, but outside of that, I mean,
Sure, but
you
like your
have
Josh
Matt
Hamilton
Olson was a
when
good
he was
player, sure.
Hamilton was going against David Ortiz and Vlad Guerrero, I'm pretty sure. Like, those are
Yeah,
three
we're
boomers
throwing
up
in
there.
fucking we're throwing in fucking Chaz Chisholm.
Speaking of him, I did want to add to your point of players not participating because supposedly they didn't want to mess up their swing. Um, that dude had 30. He took 38 swings and he had 3 home runs in those 38
Hell
swings.
yeah.
So swing at the ball 38 times. He had 3 dingers, baby.
That also is one of the most overrated like things for somebody to say. It's gonna mess with my swing because I. What do you do during batting practice? Yeah, sometimes like obviously you're gonna try and spray the ball around, but you're drilling home runs in batting practice. You're not gonna mess up your swing in the over the course of 2 hours trying to hit some home runs
It's not so
on
much
BP
about
pitches.
it's not so much about the actual act of the home run derby. It's preparing for the home run derby, because you do have to change your swing, the trajectory of the barrel. I think there is some validity to, I don't want to mess it up my swing, because we have seen in the past where home run hitters go into the home run derby, have a great time, put on a great show, and then they slump for 3-4 weeks because their swing is out of whack. So I will defend that one. There's some validity there. It's the prep work. You have to change
In
your
my
swing.
I'm just
in my counterpoint to that is they are professional athletes that have most likely tinkered with their swings numerous times before. It's typically not some newfound like thing. It's like
But it'd be the same
changing
concept if
the
Rory
exit
McIlroy and
velocity or
Tiger.
whatever.
It'd be the same concept if Rory McIlroy and Tiger joined the Big Drive League. They would have to change their swing for how it goes.
Bryson DeChambeau does it.
Well, congrats, you
Bryson
found one
DeChambeau does it.
anomaly. You found one anomaly. And while pro
he's a
golfers
dog
obviously
too.
can hit it long, I guarantee you they would tell you, it's a completely different swing. So
Let's just say Big Dumper is not going to have any fucking problems hitting the ball the rest of the year, baby.
that's because all he
Big
does is
Dumper's
hit
gonna go out
home
there and
runs. Every
fucking
time he
hit.
contacts the ball, it goes out of the yard, it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. For being a slow sports week, I think we had a pretty solid episode here, fellas. Got any? I'll go around the horn. Do we have any shout outs before we sign off?
Rob, what you got?
Herb, you
I
got anything?
got a big one. I got a good one that I think needs to be brought to light, and it's a little bit of sports and a little bit of common world. You ready for this?
I'm a little dry on shout out of the weeks this week, Herb, so I'm going to pass it
All
on to
right,
you.
so I want to start
Yep,
this,
take it
and
away.
I want to recognize the terrible tragedy happened down in Texas. None of us are unaware of that, I'm sure. Down there in Kerr County, massive flooding, massive loss of life, terrible situation. I think we all feel for the great state of Texas and especially Kerr County. But at SEC Media Day, senior safety Michael, I don't want to screw up his last name, but I'm probably going to. I think it's Taffy, Michael Taffy, senior safety, shows up and he's in his suit and he's got a burnt orange tie on, and he has 27 initials down his tie, and it's 27 of the Texas flood victims. So I want to shout out Michael Taffy for being a class act. Football brings Texas together. That's just a fact. So good on that kid. Good on the University of Texas football team for letting him do that at Media Day. I thought that needed to be shouted out in a big way.
I really hope you pronounce his name right because that would be nice to make into a clip to post because that does deserve recognition. That
Yeah, and I think it's Taffy. It's
pretty cool symbol.
Taaffe. So it's kind of an odd spelling, but I'm fairly certain it's Taffy.
Well, the Texas fans know we're trying to pronounce it the right way, but
Yeah, much respect to that young man.
That is a pretty cool gesture on his end. Doesn't sound like Rob has any.
I do have
Oh, he does
one.
have one.
I do have
It is.
one. It's a quick one. It's going to be lighthearted. Again, mirroring what Herb said or what Isaiah said. Thanks for bringing that, AJ. I think it's great to give that guy his flowers for doing so. Mine's going to be a lot more lighthearted. And you can see that here is so the Chargers, boys. The Chargers released literally a fucking neon highlighter of a uniform today. And we can show that here, but all yellow and not just yellow, just the brightest yellow you've ever seen in your fucking life, head to toe, outside of the helmet. So shout out to them, thinking that, it reminds me of the lime green for the Seahawks.
It's worse.
Just very neon-y and stands out as, yeah, it's very
It's
bad.
going to look horrible on TV.
Yellow.
It's going to look so bad on TV.
Hey, yeah. but in fairness, those all
the navy blue
ones look
good.
The
navy blue ones that they dropped it's very
the navies
cool.
are sick. They're bringing back the other. They do have 4 or 5 more combinations, which are great. I do like the idea of bringing. I think we're seeing the NFL loosen up a little bit the last few years, with the Packers doing the dark green and yellow letters and things like that. I do like the idea of doing that. I just think this was a swing and miss. I would have rather seen the teal blue head to toe over the neon yellow. I just think that you're trying to get your alternative color in there. I'm just not a fan of it. I think it's too crazy.
But yes, the jersey put it all together looks horrible. But think of all the cool uni combinations they can do now with the yellow jersey.
I don't think any combination of
on top of the baby blue pants.
I don't think any combination of jersey combo, uniform combo is going to help that yellow at all.
I think we'd be surprised. I think jury's out on that one.
We'll
jersey, we're all in agreement. All yellow is awful, but jury's out on if there's some combos it could work with. I don't. Let me think. Oh, not really a shout out, but guys, I went to I had an eye appointment last Friday. Guys, Rob, you probably know about eye prescriptions and like the numbers and stuff. So this is the first time I got my eyes checked since college, like before my freshman year of college.
What are you at, big dog?
I went from a minus 1.25 in my right eye, and to a minus 2.5, and a minus 0.25 to a minus 1 in my left eye. So I am practically. I told my lady that the one that
you're fucking blind, brother.
The lady that was doing my eye exam that I don't wear glasses when I drive, and she literally gasped. She was like, "Oh my god, you should not be doing that." And I was like, "I've been doing it for about a decade now, sweetheart."
Isaiah,
or where are you at? Where are your eyes
mine is substantially worse than all of you. I'm legally blind without corrective lenses. So yeah, I cannot operate a vehicle without contacts or glasses. Like I could do it. It would be an extreme danger to everybody. I don't want to tell you
like
guys.
Minus 1.25 or minus 1.
I don't know if I want to tell you guys.
You're at a 3, huh? You hit the 3?
I wish my eyes were at a 3.
They're that bad.
In each eye, I'm a negative 9. Hold on. I'm a negative 9.75 in each eye.
Dude, what were you doing as a kid? Were you staring into the sun?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, what the fuck happened?
No clue. I'm legally blind without corrective lenses. It's kind of wild.
So if you actually wore glasses, which I know you don't,
fit, baby.
You would be the bottle cap bad boys.
They're
You'd
thick,
be
brother.
them
They're
thick
thick.
joints.
They're thick. Why do you think I don't wear glasses?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And forget like getting like prescription
Okay.
sunglasses.
All right,
No,
boys.
sir, not for me. Anyway, hey,
Well, guys. Good episode.
hey,
Let's wrap it up.
don't
big
quote
dogs.
us, baby.
Good. Oh, sorry. Make sure to leave us a like, comment, subscribe, follow. Tell your second grade elementary school teacher to give us a follow.
Hey, you know the guy you
Shout.
talk to. You know the guy you talk to at the gas station every day. You say hi to him. You see him 6 times a week. Tell him about it, would you?
Mm-hmm.
And he asked you for money. Tell that guy.
Sure.
But we will catch you on next week's episode. Peace.
See you.
Bye, boys.